She said she's magical, mystical, a powerful wonder girl.
Welcome back to What She Said on 105.9 The Region. I'm Kate Wheeler. Joining us now is Toronto-based author Kern Carter, who just released his second novel called Beauty Scars, and it explores the dynamic between power and beauty in Canada. Welcome to the show, Kern.
Thank you. Very glad to be here.
Well, the opening line of the book is, "An accident made me beautiful."
Yeah.
So tell us what Beauty Scars is about.
So basically, that's how the book starts. A young girl gets hit by a car, and instead of becoming more scarred, she actually becomes more beautiful. So I kind of tell the story of a young girl or a girl that never asked for beauty, but just like had that thrust upon her, had that responsibility thrown on her. You know what I mean? So what does that look like for someone that doesn't know how to deal with it, never seen it, but just feels its power now, like feels the power of beauty and doesn't want to let go of it?
It's a sad statement on our society, really,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah.
Also have the top.
It is. That's why I call it beauty scars, right? Because really, what is beauty? Like beauty is, I mean, for me, you could see beauty in anything, right? Like I'm a writer, I could see beauty in words. Artists see beauty in images. So beauty is really beholden to the person, right? But I mean, society tells you beauty is one thing specifically, and that thing could be very useful in some ways, and it could be very detrimental in some ways. So it's really like a balance depending on how you look at it.
Why did you want to explore the validity of beauty standards today? Because I sort of thought that they were changing somewhat when we're trying.
It is. We are trying to change it, and to a degree, because we have social media and because everybody has a voice, it does change. But I have a 15-year-old daughter, and for her, kind of seeing the things she goes through, like she'll talk about, I wish my hair was longer or softer, or I wish my eyes was this color and stuff like that. And she's getting that from somewhere. She's not getting it from me. She's getting it from somewhere else.
Instagram,
Exactly.
where people have perfect lives.
Exactly. So I'm like, what?
They
what
wake
is
up
that?
with makeup on.
Yeah.
I wake up
Long-
like this.
Yeah.
Long eyelashes
Yeah,
and
and
toned.
look perfect, right?
Exactly.
So I wanted to really kind of tell a story of beauty and explore it and talk and frame it within the city of Toronto, because I mean that's
Did your
where I grew up.
daughter inspire this then?
Partly, yeah. My daughter inspires most of my writing, whether inadvertently or unintentionally or intentionally. She inspires a lot of my writing for sure. Yeah, she was a big inspiration behind it. And to be completely honest, I had one of my ex-girlfriends was one of the inspiration in a negative kind of way, because she was really vain. Something she would admit. So I'm not speaking anything. I'm not saying anything she wouldn't say. She admittedly was very vain. So I wanted to kind of I mean, she was like a jumping off point.
Yeah, but is beauty any different than having money or other things that give you an edge, that you can manipulate?
Yeah, I mean, you could actually look at it a lot like money, right? Like it depends on how you want to use it. So I mean, you could use money to do good. You could use money to do very bad. But the thing with beauty that separates it is that money is very like there's a value to money that you could you could touch, right? Beauty, like what can you say is beautiful? Like that, it's so ambiguous that it's almost tough for you to hold
Well, that's
on
what you
to.
said. I mean, we all know the line, beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Yeah.
And the standards of beauty, or the perception of beauty, we know that it changes from country to country. Some countries, like, we'll talk about women, like thinner women, some like curvier women.
Yeah.
But right now, apparently, the standard of beauty is Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
And that, I would
Really?
think... Yeah,
Yeah,
that's what
I would say so.
everybody is based on. I mean, Vogue India just put Kim Kardashian on their cover.
Yeah.
Because that's the standard of beauty around the world. That's what young girls are going into trying to achieve. That's what they're contouring their faces to look like. That's what they're, everything. I don't have that booty. Well, I do, but let's leave that alone. But I mean, like, figures change, standards of beauty change.
Yeah.
So how does the book connect this standard of beauty that is in the eye of the beholder to the power dynamic? I mean, we often think that in our business, female news anchors had to, be of a certain, it didn't matter what the guys looked like. They could be, bald, portly, old and ugly. We had to be a different standard of beauty. So the power dynamic in the book, how does it affect the girl? Because her life starts to unravel when she finds love.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I would say the dynamic is really in the fact that she finds love and she finds beauty from and strength from inside of herself that she didn't know she had before. So when I think of how I kind of wrote the character and I kind of wanted her to be, I wanted her to be this person that really didn't understand the power that she had. Like that's what I was going for. I didn't want her to understand it totally, right? Until like vainly, yes, like in very kind of outward ways, yes, like I could get this guy if I do this, or I could kind of I could manipulate this guy this way. I could get I wanted to show that because that's real. That's what girls go through, and that's what girls who are beautiful kind of have to deal with.
We all remember them from high school.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I mean, as far as the power dynamic, I feel like she doesn't really feel any strength until she realizes that, until she falls in love, and then then the threat of her beauty being taken away becomes real and then becomes frightening for her. You know what I mean? And then she's like, oh, am I going to lose him if I'm not beautiful anymore?
Now, you've been published in some of Canada's largest online publications, including Huffington Post and Elite Daily. Your first book, Thoughts of a Fractured Soul, tackled giving up and feeling like you don't deserve something. Another theme that I think a lot of us believe on. Sometimes they call it the imposter syndrome or the Cinderella syndrome for women in particular. Mm-hmm. So do they connect? Because it almost sounds like you're working through some themes here.
I mean, because I want all of my books to be powerful in some way. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be entertaining, so I don't want the language to ever be too dense or whatever. But I want it to be powerful as far as the messaging is. So when I wrote Thoughts of a Fractured Soul, I was like looking and reflecting on my own life. But I took the perspective of what if I actually failed? I was in my early 20s when I wrote this, but when I started writing the book. So I was like, what does failure look like? You know what I mean? Like, because at 22 or 23 when I started writing it, I felt pressure to be successful by 25. I was like, if I'm not successful by 25, I'm like a failure.
You're over the hill, baby.
Oh yeah, like it's over. And that's because I kind of grew up in the whole social media kind of time frame, right? So I felt that pressure. So I was like, most people I know are or I grew up with, or I've been in contact with, they actually have really, really good skills, are really talented, but they all settle and they all end up being completely stagnant, or they all end up a job that they don't really like. And for me, that was like the most scary thing ever, to be like so super ambitious and feel like you could touch the world and then end up settling into something that you absolutely hate or are just comfortable with. Like those words scare me a lot. So I want to like touch on that.
So just getting back to your daughter for a second, I've seen lately a lot of apps, psychologists, all kinds of things everywhere, teaching us how to disengage from the phone and disengage from social media. Is that something you think you'd be able to convince your daughter to ever do?
Never. There's no chance of that happening. But I mean, I just use it. Like, I just try my best to use it and stay engaged with her and meet her where she's at.
Okay. And what's next for you? Another book?
Yeah, another book. I actually know the title of my next book, which is weird. It's going to be called Boys and Girls Screaming.
Boys and Girls Screaming.
Yeah, that's going to be the title of my next book.
I'm scared.
Yeah. But yeah, just more writing and hopefully more interviews with ladies like you. Which would be great.
So tell everyone where they can get a copy of Beauty Scars.
Everything is easy. Just KernCarter.com, KERN Carter.com. That's my Facebook name, my Instagram name, my Twitter name.
Your actual name.
My actual.
What do you know?
I know. My Gmail is even KernCarter@gmail.com. It's all good. Like it's all Kern Carter. So yeah.
The writing. Has it made you feel successful? Because you're having some success. We don't want you to still think you're a failure here, Kern.
No, I don't feel like I'm a failure, but I feel like I have so much more to do. Like I just feel like this is literally just the beginning. This book, Beauty Scars, for me was so big because I finally felt like I told the exact story I wanted to tell to touch as many people as I want to touch. So that's why I'm really pushing this one hard, because I'm proud of it. I'm so proud of it. I got like hundreds of people actually out to my book launch, which was incredible. And that was just like because people were just, I feel like people are really into this one and really engaged in it. So yeah, I do feel happy, but to say if you want to ask me if I'm comfortable, I'm definitely not comfortable. No, not yet.
You're not comfortable but you are comfortable. You love what you've done.
I do.
Yeah, but you're proud of it.
I am proud of it.
And success isn't at any given point, it's a journey.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
KernCarter.com.
KernCarter.com.
This is What She Said. We'll be right back on 105.9 The Region.
Well, she said she's magical, mystical.